when you put on these venues or these venues. It's always nice to be participating in them. And thanks to all the traders here for joining us. Definitely, I'm sure you guys are going to learn a lot, and you're going to take in a lot of information. So make sure you take notes and you follow up after these events with the moderators and the skilled participants that can help you. I'm just glad to be here today because we're going to show you some of my favorite indicators as an instructor and as the founder of NeuroStreet. And the big thing here is to be able to help you understand how we day trade the futures markets as a financial academy. And so before we go any further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cover a quick disclaimer because I am going to be showing some screenshots of some real trades. I want to make sure that you understand the risks associated with the business so that we can make sure that you know the regulatory's requirements here moving forward. Also, it's important that you know past performance never guarantees future results, but hopefully we can get you on the right path here moving forward. So that being said, I got some highlights I want to talk about here. I'm going to talk about the top 5. I'm going to go over the system that we use. We actually have several systems that we trade here at the school, and it just really depends on the preference towards the user and their style of trading. Within that system, there's some pretty significant indicators that we use for specific reasons. And that's kind of why I was kind of excited today for this event because, you know, the topic was, you know, your favorite indicators. Well, we definitely have a lot of indicators. For those of you that are not aware, or maybe you are aware, NeuroStreet is one of the largest software vendors in the space. We've got over 40 products developed on 3 platforms. We're moving into other platforms as well. And the goal here is to make sure that you understand the tools that we use predominantly for our main systems, because our educational component to the company is about trading rooms and trading systems and trader education. So the key here is to make sure you understand why you're actually in this business. I know a lot of you guys think you know. I'm going to be bold and say that a lot of people think they know, but the real reason is not really defined yet. You know, this was a big aha for me and a lot of traders that come to our school is they think they're in this business for one reason, but then they realize that the real focus needs to be the other. And so I think it's important to hone in on that. I'm going to walk you through the 4 steps to our system and the main indicators that we're using. We're going to show you some real trades. We're going to show you some real fills. And then if you like what we're doing here today, guys, I think today is about, you know, getting exposure and understanding what we're doing and how we're doing it. And if you really enjoy some of the stuff that we're discussing, then I'm going to give you something that I think is going to be pretty much impossible to turn up. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie The Godfather, and in The Godfather, they make him an offer he can't refuse, right? So today I'm going to just come out and say that I'm going to actually give you guys something to remember. I'm going to make you an offer I'm pretty sure you won't refuse. So that being said, just stick around to the end because I think you guys are going to be quite happy. So just a couple things about me, guys. For those of you that know me or don't know me, my name is Sean Kozak. I'm the founder of NeuroStreet, and I'm not here to play games. I'm here to take this quite serious. I know that there's a lot of information in this industry. There's a lot of marketing, a lot of content, a lot of information out there. But in reality, this is a business of money management, and it's actually quite serious. And we need to take it quite serious because if not, then Wall Street's going to take us for granted, and they're just going to wipe our slate clean, right? It's pretty straightforward. You either get good or you get broke. And for me to be able to help you to qualify, I've been doing this a long time. I built a school as a software architect, and I've worked with over thousands of traders. We have an in-house development team. You know, we run trading rooms, multiple instructors, you name it. But the big goal here is for you guys to get good. And it's not so much about us, it's about you. It's about being able to teach you how to become a great trader, making sure that you understand the systems that we're trading and that you can practice it and execute it flawlessly, right? And the reason I know this works is because we have a lot of traders that come to us broken, beaten, or just getting started, never done it before. And we're able to get them to where they want to be. And yes, that takes a little bit of effort on our part, and it takes a little bit of effort on your part, but as a team, we can actually get you there. And I think that that's really important because this business is about skill development, right? So in order to do that, Okay. I think it's really important that everybody understands, you know, that we're all here for the same reason. I don't know anybody, I don't know anybody that doesn't want better trading results. Like, even if you're a good trader, you want better results. End of story, right? And the big thing is most people don't believe in what they're doing, and that lack of belief is due to failure and that type of stuff. And for my experience, is there anybody in here? Maybe this is a better question. Is there anybody here that doesn't want these 5 things? Right? Can you guys just give me a yes that you would want one, or if not all of these things in your trading? You know, better results, belief in your system, cleaner trades, easier setups to understand, and then it's something you can depend on. Can you guys just give me a yes if that makes sense to you? I just want to know if you guys are all on the same page as me here, because if not, I'm I'm wondering what's up. And I'm asking you guys that because I like to be dynamic with the audience. I'm not here to just present. I'm here to engage with you guys, right? Because it's a presentation of engagement, right? This is a business of engagement. So the big thing for me is that the only way you're going to actually engage in that, right, is if you see it done in front of you. Like, you have to watch people trade. It's no different than if you go to the gym, or if you go to a new job. Like, if you come out of college, you need to actually practice and get good at it, right? It's about actually seeing it done in front of you by someone that can actually lead the way and show you what they're doing and show you how they're doing it, rather than just telling you, rather than just saying, here's a system, here's a bunch of indicators, here you go, figure it out, right? Here's this next new strategy I built, here's this and that. It's kind of like that only gets you so far. But the reality is that you actually need to be led by someone that actually can help you get good. And that's why mentorships are so important. That's why instructors are so important. It's kind of like when you go to university, you don't become an accountant unless you learn from people that understand accounting. End of story. It's that simple. It's not about marketing, it's about demonstration, right? And this business needs to be more about demonstration, right? So in order to realize that, though, there has to be an understanding of the other side of the business. Most traders will get exposed to information, and then what ends up happening is they'll have a hard time differentiating good setups from bad setups. A lot of times it'll be difficult for traders to assess the conditions of what's happening. Everybody understands the emotions. I mean, that's not new, but I mean, it's an emotional business, getting attached to your money and dealing with the greed and dealing with the discipline and then the second guessing. Like, you know, I think that's the number one thing that plagues most traders is, you know, oh, I really hope this trade works, or I really want to make sure I can get a good string of wins behind me. But the problem is that a lot of traders flip-flop. They flip-flop strategies. They move from one system to another, or one trade room from another. And the reason is because they don't understand why they're struggling. And it's because it's not, a lot of times it's not just them. It's the market is dynamic. It's a changing market. So it's not like going and getting a job as a mechanic. It's not like going and getting a job as a dentist where you change a tooth, you change a tooth, right? A tooth is a tooth, or a car tire is a car tire. Every day your job is your job. Where the markets, you got to learn pattern recognition, but then all of a sudden the market changes tomorrow. And then the market changes the next day. And everyone's trying to adapt. And that's the problem, where traders have a hard time sticking in one environment long enough to see the magic happen. And like I said, the only way to get through it is to watch someone do it. So what I want to do is I want to explain how I can help you and how we can help you. Number one is that we have a software product line, a turnkey suite of indicators. I believe in tracking performance. I also believe in logging our system trades and making sure that every traders understand the probability of the systems that we're trading, and then also seeing it done in front of you. I'm a firm believer of teaching rules-based frameworks. So if you're going to learn something, you need to learn in a linear fashion, which means you first need to learn step 1 before you learn step 2, before you learn step 3, because a lot of times traders will try to jump to something before it's actually ready. And if you're going to be in a trading room, hindsight's 2020. Everybody says, "Hey, did you catch that, Phil? Did you see that trade? I just got 20 ticks. You know, did you get into none of that stuff, man? Because that stuff doesn't make you a great trader." You need to see a trade room. You need to be in an environment that trades with you, in front of you, and understands what they're doing and knows how to actually help you and demonstrate through live example, right? And I keep leading with this comment down at the bottom here. We lead by example. So one of the things you're going to see with us is you're going to see active trading. You're going to come into our classrooms. We're going to trade in front of you. You're going to see it, and you're going to be able to ask questions. And you're going to be able to understand the systems and understand the indicators that we're trading with, because that's the best way to get good, is to be able to be in an environment that's demonstrating it. Okay, so this is where a lot of you will have a couple questions. That is rightfully so. We all know the goal is to make money. It has to be your goal. Okay, the goal has to be that, because that's what this business is. And then a lot of times what will happen in the back of our minds, we'll start asking these questions, and we'll get the yeah buts and the what ifs, right? And it's just common emotional management, you know, the yeah buts, you know, yeah, but how can I be certain I can trust your strategy? It's a fair question, right? Yeah, but how can I be sure I'm going to make money trading with your system or using your indicators? And these are great questions, because these are questions that if you weren't asking, I'd be a little bit concerned, because this business is about understanding how to succeed in a dynamic environment. And then some of you will start asking the question, what if I can't do it? Right? Like, what if I can't do it because I've lost before and I'm having a hard time getting out of my negative cycle? Or yeah, but what if I can't do it because every time I try, I keep failing, right? Or any of those situations, right? Well, it's no different than when you go to buy a TV, or you go to buy a couch, or you go to buy a car. You don't just go in and you're not all in at the poker table and you're not just, guns blaring, because everybody has the case of yeah buts, what ifs. It doesn't matter if you're buying a trading system or trading room, or if you're buying a couch or you're buying a car. It's part of the buyer process, right? And the key here is that you understand that it's not just us trying to sell you something. We're actually here to teach you a money-making skill set. Okay, so let me go back to the college example. You want to be an electrician. You go to school and you learn the material, you learn the concepts, and then you go into a co-op. And when you're in that co-op, you start practicing in the work environment. That's what trading needs to be more like, but nobody in the world does it that way, which is why 90% of the traders that apply themselves into trading fail, is because they don't do it in the right process. You would never become an electrician without going to school and learning how to wire a circuit breaker, and then going into a co-op and then practicing under somebody that knows what they're doing. Why does everybody come into the financial markets doing that? That's why they all lose their money. It's because they don't understand the process to success. And so the difference here is that we're going to take you through a different process. If you're willing to allow yourself that process to happen, we can get you to the promised land. If you don't, I can't help someone that doesn't understand how to be helped, right? And that's realistic. That's just me being real with you from a trader's perspective to a trader. So the goal here is to understand that we're not going to just get you to trade one system, because you're not supposed to just trade one system. In fact, anybody that just tries to sell you a system, I would be very concerned about that, because here's the understanding, is that not all traders are meant to trade each strategy. And if you haven't thought about the markets like this, we need to start retraining the belief system. Okay. A lot of traders heard trend trading. How many of you guys have heard of trend trading before? Just type a yes if you've heard of trend trading. You guys heard of trends before? How many of you guys have heard of reversal trading? What about pattern recognition? Right? Well, let me explain a few things. You could be trend trading pullbacks, or you could be trend trading auctions. You could be trend trading order flow, or you could be trend trading supply and demand. Okay, what about reversal trading? You could be reversal trading profiles, reversal trading support and resistance, reversal trading a lot of different things, right? What if I told you that just because you think you're a one trader and you didn't realize that there was a completely different way of trading that you could be so much better at, but you need to learn it to understand it? What we do here is we teach several systems, and we track the performance of those systems independently while we look at the markets and we keep track of the trades. And the reason for this is because not all traders are meant to trade trends. Not all traders are meant to trade reversals. Some can trade one better than the other. And so the reason I'm explaining this is because we're going to teach you all of it, and then we're going to help you define you. Because some traders are not meant to be in the market for long periods of time because they're not good at it. End of story. Admit you're not good at it. You won't know you're not good at it until you try it, which is the benefit of practicing in a simulated account, right? And then some traders are really great at reversals, but they really just, they suck at trend trading. Some traders can't trade reversals. They're not meant to, but they're great at getting in with the trend, right? These types of things. Some traders need automation, right? Frequency automation. Some traders need that. We teach you this and we track it so that you can understand the hit rates of what we're doing. We track the winning percentages on a regular basis. We log the system trades as we follow them in the markets on a daily basis. And as our trade room looks at one strategy versus the other, we teach it to you, okay? So I want to give you an example why this is so important to you. I'm going to show you a recent success story. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is it's actually kind of interesting. We had a student, he blew out 3 accounts prior to coming to us. And he came to us and he's like, you know, listen, I'm done here. Like, I need help, right? It's a really magical place when someone admits that they need help. And if you've never been in trading or you've never been in the markets, you're at the same place as the guy that's been struggling, because you still need help. If you know nothing, you need help. If you know a lot, but you're struggling, you need help. Knowledge does not equate money in this business. I know a lot of traders that know a lot and they are terrible at trading. And yet I know a lot of guys that are they know a little bit, but yet they're still very good. So we need to get away from the whole concept of knowledge equates money in this business, because I think that's where the problem is. A lot of traders think they need to learn more to get good, and that's not the answer. So this is an example of a student. He blew out 3 accounts. He worked with us for a month, and then he transitioned his trading, and now he became a funded trader, right, on his first round through a combine. Like, you don't go from blowing out 3 accounts and then passing combines on your first run through unless you're doing something right. Well, something had to happen for this trader to be able to succeed. And the problem wasn't that he wasn't capable of succeeding. The problem was he wasn't doing things the right way. So maybe you're in a situation where you're fully capable of being a great trader. You're just learning the wrong things, or you're not doing things the way that you should be doing it. And the reason I'm asking you to think about this open-mindedly is because if we can take someone that's been blowing out accounts consecutively and get them through the hardest process in this business, like, to pass a combine is much harder than trading live accounts, because their risk management process is much harder than, say, trading your own money. So this is why I use this as an example, because the prop firm examples at the funding companies are designed against the trader succeeding. They're not in the business of funding traders. They're in the business of failing traders. That's, the success rate is very small. So if you can pass a combine, you're doing all right, okay? So I'm using this as on purpose, guys, to share with you that even the trader that is struggling the most can get there, okay? Now, let me kind of explain a couple things. What is the reason you're here? Can you guys just type in a one-word answer? Is it time freedom, family, lifestyle, quit your job, work from home, travel the world, digital nomad? What is it? What is it you really are here for? Why did you get into trading? Like, I always like to ask this question. What is it? Like, what is it that broke it? Elizabeth, work from home. You're stuck in the house. You're like, I'm going to just trade in the house, Kathy, at work from home. Okay. Elizabeth says work from home. Ingrid says freedom. Adam says lifestyle. Okay. Seth says making money. Funding my help. Erna, all of the above, Jennifer. Okay. So all in charities. Okay. So here's where I'm just going to kind of help here again. I really need to keep you guys in the right frame of mind here, because the problem is marketing. There's a lot of noise going on in all industries because of social media and online environments, right? But we need to get back down to what Wall Street is. Wall Street doesn't care about your family. Wall Street doesn't care about if you feel achievement, or if you want to travel the world, or if you want all these extra things. The only thing that is important in this business, and I think it's very important that you understand this, is that you get good at making money. Please think about what I'm saying. Because if you do not get good at making money consistently, none of that will ever happen. You won't have time for your family. There won't be a better lifestyle. There is no secondary income because you're burning out accounts. You will not get what you're here to do. So the moment we shift our thinking to, okay, I need to treat this like a money-making business, because that's what it is. People say, I'm trading. I'm sitting at the barbecue on the weekend. What do you do? Oh, I'm getting into trading. No, you're getting into money management. Trading is how you do it. Okay? So when you start thinking like, okay, I need to get up on a Monday morning an hour earlier and start getting ready to manage money and focus on the skill of getting good at managing money and using assets in the market to do that, it's where we get to shift our paradigm and why we're here. Because when you can focus on the true why, then everything else starts to fall in place. And that's my goal from the forefront is I'm not here to mess around with the dreams and the hopes, and all that stuff never means nothing. My goal is to get you making money so that you can get to where you want to be. And if we stay focused on that goal, then you're around the right types of people. Because if everybody's sitting there talking about the other stuff, I'd be a little concerned about, your surroundings. Okay. So the reason I like to do this is it separates our mentality from being a hobbyist, somebody that's, oh, I like these indicators and, oh, this platform's cool and these guys seem like they got something cool going on, to, wait a second, I need to get good at being a great trader here. And I need to make sure I surround myself with traders that are really qualified to do that. Okay. And the reason I take this very seriously, guys, is because we actually have a lot of very serious traders in our environment. We sell products and systems to money managers. Hedge funds buy our stuff. I've got guys that are managing very, very large family offices that trade with us. And I've got small traders, combine traders, et cetera. So I treat this differently than maybe some of you guys are familiar with, because I actually take it quite seriously. And I think that we need to take it quite seriously. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to teach you our favorite indicators, and I want to talk to you about how this works. Okay. When we teach you how to trade. Okay. So you notice how you notice how I change this to, here's our system. It's always about teaching you how to trade, because it doesn't matter if I give you a system, you still need to learn how to trade it. So the difference is not just, hey, check out these strategies. It's, here, check out these strategies, but we need to make sure you understand how to trade them. Because if you don't know how to trade them, it's just another indicator suite that you buy in your system. And then it's like, okay, where am I? Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to walk you through that process. We're always going to make sure that you understand the areas of interest that we're doing business around, whether we're buying and selling, or if you're going to be trading a directional or non-directional system. So the first goal is to decide, are we trading directionally or non-directionally? It has to be defined in the beginning, whether you're trading with the market or you're fading it or you're breaking it out or you're divergencing it, whatever the case may be. We need to make sure that you understand directional versus non-directional application. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to define and refine the strategy, because we have a couple of them. So we want to make sure that you hone in on the exact strategy that we're going to be trading and get yourself ready for the trade management, because really our business is trade management. Our job is trade management. Our job is not look at all the fancy indicators on our chart. Our job is how to make money. And so in order to do that, we need to get good at trade management, getting in and out of the market for a profit, not getting in and out of the market because we want to feel right about what we're doing. You do not need to be right in this business to make money. You need to be good at getting in and taking profits. Okay. So the goal here is to make sure you understand the strategy focus and the direction or non-directional bias, refine the areas of interest where we trade, and then teach you how to manage capital in and out of the market. Okay. And then the last step of that is making sure that you understand how to study and review what you did. Screenshots, notes, logging your stats. Normally what we'll do is we'll make traders go through a sim process at the beginning for a period of time until they can demonstrate consistent profitability in sim, and then you can move to live accounts or get funded as a combine trader, depending on if you want to trade your own money or you want to trade someone else's. We work with a lot of funding partners on purpose because we put a lot of people into funding accounts. Okay, so here's an overview of a workspace I trade with. I'm going to show you this workspace so I can go over my favorite indicators so that you understand them. And the key here is that you understand is that we have a universal system. This system can be traded on futures, Forex, or stocks, depending on the platform that we're using. So our primary platform is NinjaTrader, just so you understand that. We are, our main focus is on the Ninja platform. We have some indicators on TradeStation, and we are in the process of getting all of our software over to TradingView. Just so you understand, because a lot of traders ask, you know, what platform are you using, what tools are you using, and why. I want to explain why we're using the Ninja platform so you understand the difference between some of them. I think it's a very important question. There's a lot of great platforms out there, a lot of great platforms for specific reasons. NinjaTrader is a developer platform. So a lot of traders that want to build custom algorithms and very high-end data algorithms on order flow, volume profile, or very sophisticated tools that do sophisticated things use Ninja. The reason for that is because it can do a lot of things that a lot of other platforms can't do. So if you want to use advanced analytics around order flow properly without restrictions, Ninja is a great platform for that. You want to use volume profile properly, Ninja is a great platform for that. There's a lot of other great platforms, but you have to understand why developers do things on certain platforms is because there's superior benefits from a coding perspective, which can give you an advantage of an end user. The reason I say that is because if we're going to be trading, we want to use tools that can really solve problems. And that's what we do is we use indicators that solve specific problems. Okay, so we're going to go through some trade examples and then we're going to go onto the charts and I'm going to show you a walkthrough of this. Okay, so here's an example of a trade that I took using our Fibonacci ratio software. This is a nice trade. This was in our trading room. I traded this in front of over 100 students. Okay, this was a trend trade on a wave 4 pullback, took it on a breakdown off market open. This was, you'll notice how it's a couple different indicators. So this one is a ratio software. This was a wave software with our pullback trades with momentum. Okay, so you can see here there's a couple different strategies being traded here. Okay, here's another example of me fading a non-directional market using auction levels. So this is an example of us taking a reversal trade off of a dropping market into an environment where we're buying the lows. Is a counter trend trade. Okay, so this is us using auction profile levels and then using order flow for timing. Okay, here's another example of me taking a reversal trade and then re-engaging back into a trend trade using auctions. So this is basically two different strategies being deployed on one side of each other. One was catching the bottom and one was taking the re-entry from the top. Okay, here's an example of a volume divergence trade. Okay, these volume divergence trades were basically planned off a 30-minute chart, and then we're getting in on a 1 or a 2-minute chart, scalping the order flow changes, right? This is big money print coming in. We're waiting for confirmation on the print, and then the market comes in and we catch the low. Okay, this was a reversal trade. Okay, this is another example. Us taking a big area of interest into, you notice how it says big money print up here at the top. What we do is we have these big areas of interest. You can see we have a 30-minute volume level, which is the big blue box, and then we narrow it down inside of it to look at where we want to actually do business, right? Getting into the fine, looking at the tools and using the indicators to tell us where's the best place to get in for the lowest place risk. And instead of taking a lot of heat on this trade, I was able to refine my risk to 1/3 of the original position. And so these are things that are very, very important, right? Take a look at this. I waited for this trade all morning. This was a 30-minute auction level on the euro, okay? I waited for this trade for all morning, and then I caught the high, and then I took a very, very small profit. I don't need to be right out of this entire move. I just need to catch the move. And this is the biggest thing about trading is a lot of traders think they need to be right about the big move of the market when really baseball is won by getting people on first base. So one of the biggest examples I'll give you here, okay, is if you're in baseball, there's your home plate. You got first plate, second plate, third plate, and home plate. Not everybody's a Grand Slam hitter. And a lot of traders come out of this business hoping that they can be one, when that's not how the game of baseball is won. The game of baseball is won by getting on base 1, and then getting an opportunity to get to base 2, and then getting an opportunity to get to base 3, and then hopefully bringing it home. Sometimes you get lucky and you hit the Grand Slam trade. If you ever look at the stats on the Grand Slam hitters, they strike out more than they hit. So you got to understand what your objective is. Is your job to be always right all the time, or is your job to make money? And this is the difference between an emotional, inexperienced trader and someone that manages capital for a living. So my job is to get you to managing capital for a living, not to sell you a system. We have a lot of systems. We're going to teach them all to you. Okay. So here's some examples. I don't believe in writing reviews on our website, so we use TrustPilot. TrustPilot is something that we can't manage. It's done on a public domain. It's managed on a Google environment. So basically, as our traders write reviews, it's basically public for the world to see. So if you ever want to talk to any of our traders, I ask that you just give us an email and we'll put you in touch with them. We have lots of people that are very happy with what we do because we do a very good job at helping people become successful. And if you're looking to become successful, you want to surround yourself with successful people, right? It's no different than in any industry, right? If I wanted to become a great real estate agent or someone that's really good at dealing in real estate, I want to be around successful realtors, right? It's just, that's the way the business is. Right now, I really engage in YouTube a lot, so we try to put a lot of videos on YouTube. You'll see we have over 237 videos at the time of me taking this screenshot. The reason for that is we put out webinars, recaps, live trading calls. We put out a whole bunch of stuff here, guys. If you're new to what we do and you want to get involved, this is an amazing place to be because we put out content every day and every week. You're not going to be at a disadvantage here. You're going to learn more on our YouTube channel than any other place, I can assure you that, because we put out tons and tons of content, both educational and demonstrational. So check us out, NS Trading Academy on YouTube. It's on our homepage as well. You can take a look at that. We'll send you links in the email as well. But what I want to do here is I want to give you something that I don't think anyone's going to want to refuse. So just so you guys understand, the way we run our school is a little bit different than probably a lot of other environments that you've been exposed to. I'm a firm believer that you need to have all three to succeed. You cannot just be in one. So let me explain a few things. Most people are going to come into the live classroom. Their first exposure is in the live class, coming into a live trading room, seeing how we're doing it, watching us take some trades, asking questions. But then after the live classroom closes, what's going to end up happening is you're going to be like, okay, well, I want to learn this stuff. I need to learn this stuff. What they were doing was pretty top notch. So then what we'll do here is you're going to have an online education video program that's going to be part of what we're doing. It's going to go over all of the indicators. It's going to explain the tools that we're trading with in detail. And then once you understand that you have these indicators and you're learning all these things, then what you're going to need is you're going to need strategies, right? So you cannot come into a trading room expecting to make money unless you understand the tools and then you understand how we're using them. Can we all agree that that kind of makes sense? Give me a yes that that would make sense to someone learning something new. Because it's no different than if you want to become an electrician or you want to become a chef. You need to understand how to use the knife before you can cut the tomatoes for the salad. Right? So here's the difference. If I were to go into our platform for a second, okay, what you're seeing here is a collective suite of all the tools that I'm going to be trading with this week. Let me explain a few things so you understand this. We got a scanner up here with some watch lists. This is for futures. We got a correlation chart. You need to know how to read correlations so you can know which market to be trading. If you're only trading one market, you're at a disadvantage. You need to know which market you should be trading so that you're not trading the wrong market that day. Right? Like if I was trying to trade the NASDAQ short right now, expect losses. End of story. Right? You should be trading the Russell and the YM short today. These are the weaker markets. Okay. So another thing too, big thing that we do is the auctions. Heavy on the auctions. Why? Why do you think trading auctions is super important? Anybody here want to take a stab at that? I want to ask you a couple, maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't. Jennifer says volume. Okay. Auctions are profiles. So Rick, auctions is yeah, so volume and more volume. So great. So let me explain something. Indicators mean nothing. End of story, guys. I'm going to tell you from a prop level and a professional perspective, prop firms and institutions are trading profiles. End of story. They're not trading small stuff, guys. They can't because they're based on big liquidity, right? Their trading decisions are based on big bank business. So you need to understand how they're trading to be able to understand how we need to trade. So that's why we need to make sure you understand completely how to read the auctions. It's super, super important. This is why it's one of my favorite indicators, because once you understand how to read the profiles properly, you'll be able to understand how to trade order flow and all the other stuff properly. Okay, once you understand where and why you're doing business, then you can engage in some of the other strategies that we trade. Now, we also like to look at order flow. We have a few different ways in which we look at order flow. We look at order flow on large time frames, a little bit unorthodox. A lot of traders only look at order flow on small time frames. We don't. We look at order flow on big time frames because it has much bigger impact. Okay. And then what we do is we actually come down here and we manage our trades, and we can decide, are we going to trade levels trading? Are we going to trade smaller time frames? Are we going to trade bigger time frames? Are we going to scalp the market? Depending on the strategy focus, you're going to see us look at, you know, order flow. You're going to see us doing a bunch of things like this. You're going to see us do a lot of things, guys, that you may or may not know what's going on right out the gates. And the reason for this is you shouldn't know. You're going to have to come in and learn it with us. So depending on the strategy that we trade, we're going to teach you auction strategies. We're going to teach you order flow strategies. We're going to show you some trend trading and some reversal trading. Some of you may be exposed to supply and demand analysis. So we do look at supply and demand analysis very heavily. We look at support and resistance. We want to make sure you understand the tools that we're trading. Okay, so you can see that we have a lot of different tools that we incorporate in what we're doing, and we're going to look at that. Another thing too is we like to scan the market for ratios. We have an automated scanner that basically scans mathematical pattern recognition, so that what we're doing is we're actually going to be able to teach you how to read those as well. And our scanners, like right now, there's a pattern on the S&P. So if I were to go look, I would need to understand, should I be trading this pattern or should I not be trading it, right? These are the things that we're going to talk about. Okay, so in a webinar like this, it's impossible for me to teach you how to trade. It's more of a demonstration environment of what we can do and what to look forward to. So what we do this week, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm going to be trading live in front of a lot of people on this layout. You're going to see this layout if you're in our classroom. Okay, so this will be me teaching some of these concepts and going through these markets. So the reason I bring this to you is because, as you know, we have a lot of tools here. And so in order for you to use those tools, you need to decide if this is something that you feel comfortable being around, if this is your environment. So a lot of times, a lot of people will think you need to buy it all, right? Like, okay, that looks expensive, or I need to spend a lot of money to use all this stuff. And the truth is that our tools do cost a fair amount of money. But the problem is that a lot of traders think they need to pay up front for that. And we used to do that a long time ago. Times change. We think that we'd rather help a lot of people than just a few. So if I were to sell this as a complete lifetime package, you're looking at a large amount of money, right? But we don't do that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to break down a perspective, okay? If you want to go to university or you want to go to college and you want to take your kids to the campus, right? You're not going to just go and drop $40,000 of tuition for your kids to go to school. Maybe some of you are parents, maybe some of you aren't, but you just kind of, think about this for a second. You're not going to go just drop a whole bunch of money in a school and put your kids into a school that you've never done your research on, or you've never gone to their classes, or you've never been to the campus to see exactly what you're paying for, right? And so this is the way that we kind of shifted our company focus over the past 3 years is because we're an academy, is we want you to come to campus with us. We want you to come in and take a look around. We want you to be a part of what we're doing and see if this is where you want to be. And if you feel right here, and this is the way this is like, okay, I want to trade with these guys because these guys got it going on. And so instead of us trying to sell you something real expensive for the trade room and the education and the strategies, we package it all together in one monthly subscription, okay? And like I said, if you've ever seen the movie The Godfather, in that movie they say, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you your first month for $3. You say, what do you mean, Sean? $3? That's a cup of Starbucks coffee. So let me explain the rationale behind this. We normally charge $97 a month for the online education classes, the trade room, and the strategies class. It's all as one. And then if you like what we're doing, you can decide to purchase the indicators after. But instead of trying to sell you a $97 subscription here, I'd rather you just come in for $3 for the next 30 days and trade with us. So for a cup of coffee, you can come in for the next 4 weeks and get exposure with us and learn what we're doing and ask questions and be a part of an environment that knows what they're doing. Okay. And actually, David, I have a link here for you. I'm going to give you a link. Okay. I'm going to put in his link here. Okay. And use the one I just put in there, David. Yeah. The one you put in has the back end. I'm not sure. Maybe it is that one. I'm not sure. But either way, I have a link there for you guys. And let me explain this for a second. The reason we do it like this is because I want you to be excited about what we're doing, right? And not be worried about spending money. Because if you're in the right environment and you really feel comfortable trading in our classrooms and learning our material, then there's no risk to you. And then you're like excited to be a part of that. So the reason we do this is because I'd rather have all of you come in and get a feel for what we're doing and get used to how we're doing things than doing that, right? Now, here's what I want to do. I want to explain something. When you come in on the $3 trial, you'll then eventually need to buy the indicators somewhere down the line. But before you decide to do that, I'm going to give you a 7-day trial of all of our software for $25. Okay. So instead of paying a bunch of money for a bunch of indicators that you're not sure you want to use yet or you understand, when you come in on that $3 month, so when you're with us for the next month for $3, okay, instead of buying anything, we'll give you a $25 trial for all of the software. So for the first week, you can use our entire systems, all of our indicators, all of our tools that we're trading with for $25. Okay. And then you can, for the rest of the week, you can use, or the rest of the month, you can use that $3 pass to be able to learn it and all the video training on all of that, because that way it's kind of like test driving the car, right? It's like test driving the Ferrari. You want to use it. You want to make sure you want to use it before you buy something. It's really kind of like an experience. And essentially the reason why we charge $25 for the trial is because we put a lot of effort into the upkeep of the development, and we also do the installs for our traders. I got to have our staff on payroll to do that. It's a very small upkeep for us, right? So for us, I want to make sure you understand that it's no risk to you. So for $3 for the month plus $25 for the trade room, the software trial, it's a total of $28 for the first month. And that will give you access to the indicators for the first week and the trade room for the entire month with us. And you can take one trade. If you're trading a live account, I don't know if you're trading live accounts or not, but it could pay for its subscription in and of itself. And then if you like what you see and you enjoy trading with us, you can stick and stay. And if you don't, well, there's no risk to you. It's less than going for dinner, right? And I think it's a good way to build trust with you, and it's also a good way to build a relationship with you in an environment that is pretty hardcore, right? The markets are a hardcore environment. We want to make sure that you feel comfortable in an environment to learn. Okay, so here's the thing. If you're not using NinjaTrader, okay, you can download NinjaTrader for free. You can get data for free. All of our software can be used on your charts without you having to switch platforms or anything like that out to start. If you do want to use our indicators long-term, full-time, you can still use Ninja on a free platform basis, but it depends on how you want to execute your trades. We encourage using NinjaTrader just for the sake of ease and simplicity. If you're using other platforms, you can execute your trades. We do the analysis on Ninja just based off what we're trading with, right? But there's no cost to be on Ninja right out the gate, so you can still come in for the first month and trade with us and do things even without having to buy it, right? It just depends, Gabe. Gabe's asking a great question. He says, how much do the indicators cost after the first week? Well, it just depends, and let's go back to this for a second. Depends on which ones you find a preference to. Like some traders just love trading the auctions and the order flow, and they're not really too concerned about trading the supply or demand charts. Some traders love the supply and demand, and they're not too concerned about trading the ratios. So what we do is we have an indicator training program that teaches you all of them, and then when we're in our classroom, we take different strategies. We trade different strategies. So you'll find which ones you want to use most so that you don't have to buy all of them right out the gates. Because you don't need to use all of them right out the gates to make a lot of money trading. But we teach it all to you up front so that you can find your preference. Because remember what I said right at the beginning, and let's go back to the most important thing here on the class today or in this presentation. Not everybody's meant to trade the same strategy. So my job is to help you define who you are. And you'll know it quite quickly by the way we do things, right? You'll know if you like trading reversals or trends, or you like trading the auctions or the order flow, or you like trading the ratios, right? Like there's a lot of different ways to go about this, which is why we give you access for a couple weeks to kind of get familiar with us. And that's why I really think it's an amazing experience for no risk to you, is because we'd rather hold you by the hand and help you right out the gates for a very, very low upfront cost so that we can build that relationship with you as an instructor, and then give you a test drive of the tool so you can get a feel for it. We'll log onto your computer and install everything so you don't have to worry about getting set up. We have an onboarding specialist that can help you with product training and platform training. We have a product specialist that can help you with deep dive stuff on the indicators. We got an in-house team that can help hold your hand through that process. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I want to thank David for giving us the opportunity to present here. I know you've got a lot of great presenters here, and I'm sure a lot of them are going to teach you some really valuable things. There's a lot of experienced traders in the world, right? So make sure you soak it all up. Just make sure that if you're interested in what we're doing, I put the link in the chat in the chat box. So if you have any questions, you can use that link, and then you can follow up with us after. All right, guys. So I'll reserve this time now for any questions if we have time. David, I think we do. Okay.
Yeah, you have about another 10 minutes.
Sure. So maybe if you guys could do me a favor and just type your questions in the chat box. I'll use this time now to do that. So Jennifer's saying, how many indicators do you need to start? Well, that's a great question. That's a great question here. So let's talk about this for a second. I'll tell you my favorite, so that because I'm an instructor. So for me, I have a preference. I started, and I'll just kind of share a little bit of personal story with you, is I started as a supply and demand trader years and years ago, many moons ago. And I love supply and demand trading. But since moving to the auctions, I spend more time trading the auctions because I tend to try to think more like an institution than a retail trader. So I'm always trying to think like the big banks do. And that's just that's the way I've gravitated towards as a trader and an instructor. But so if you were to ask me my favorite indicators, hands down, it would be the auctions, okay, and the order flow. I also like to trade directionally, but it depends on the directional strategies that we're trading. So if I'm scalping, I'll scalp trend trades. So I will trend trade a smaller time frame chart, but I'll use it only with order flow and volume information. Okay. Another thing too is I'm really big on confluence. So one of the things that I do is that if we're going to take a trade, I don't just take a trade because an indicator says something. I take a trade because a few of them say something at the same time. Okay. And here's a cool thing. If you come into our classroom, we're going to be talking about a few different trades. So you'll be able to ask questions on each of the indicators. And when you do the trial for $25, you get all of this. So you get all of them. One of the things we do as well is we have a trade execution platform. So we're big on planning money management and risk and reward analysis and position sizing. So all of our stuff that we do, we have a built-in execution platform that maps out all your money management and all your risk and reward analysis, and that's all part of what we do. It's a really big component to successful trading is execution, right? So let's let's talk about a couple other questions. Adam's saying, do you trade live? So that's a great question. So let me kind of explain this. I'll share this. I'll write this down so you guys understand this. So there's three things that I've done as a trader. So I've traded sim accounts, I've traded live accounts, and I've traded managed money up to 1.4 million. So this is just me just kind of giving you my breakdown. Okay, I've traded all three of them. For the purpose of our school, our classrooms are designed to trade sim. Okay, on purpose, and I'll explain why. It's because of the nature of we got hundreds of students, and when you're trying to trade and teach and make sure that you can see us taking trades and teaching all of that, it's really about like you guys. Like if you I know everybody wants to see performance, and we do track performance. Like I'll just go in here and I'll just pull up the trade stats on all the systems. Okay, so like we track we log all of our trades, so we can track the hit rates of all the strategies in the classroom and stuff like that. Like we got a pretty good hit rate on our systems as a combined whole. So it's not just about one strategy; it's about being able to help you define yours. But the concept is about making sure that we can trade in a classroom with you so that you can see the trades in front of you, right? If an instructor's trading his own live accounts, I would really encourage him not to be wanting to teach a bunch of traders at the same time. I would want him to be trading live properly and without a lot of confusion, right? And I hope you guys can understand that, right? As a school, we want to be able to demonstrate so you can do it, right? Not just about, hey, look at me, how good we are. Because at the end of the day, you're investing in us to help you, not the other way around, right? So let's go back up here. Got a couple other questions. Craig says, I love your training, Sean. Look forward to being with you in the trading room tomorrow. Fantastic program. I learned a lot. Excellent. Thanks, Craig. Elizabeth says, I'm about to get a new computer. Well, Elizabeth, that's interesting. If you haven't bought it already, let us know. We can get you discounts with our computer providers because we're a larger school. So we've got discounts for all of our students, and we can get you the specs for the best computers for a really good price. So shoot us an email, Jennifer, at the end of this event if you haven't already paid for one. If you have already, don't worry. But anybody here that needs computers, let us know. We'll get you discounts on trading computers built for specific platforms. Our guys are the best in the space. Yeah. Please advise price of indicators in trade room after 7 days. Yeah, it's a great question. After 7 days, just to understand this, after 7 days, the monthly subscription for all the education is $97. Okay, so ongoing, it's about $100 a month, a little less. And as I said, the indicators are on a per rated basis. You buy one at a time. So it depends on which ones you decide to purchase. And I can get you done a demo with our team. So they all have different price points. So I'll just let you meet with our sales team and our product specialists, and you can do a demo and go over those independently with you. Okay. Is there any additional cost to installing the indicators? No, Charles. We log on to your computer. My support team will book an install with you. He'll install everything, done for you service. Turnkey. Easy peasy. Yep. We've been at this a long time, guys. We're an academy. We're not a small guy. We're not a small operation. We got a big in-house team, and we work with thousands of students. We'd love to help you, but we need to know if you're interested, and that's the best way to get started. And like I said here, at the end of that, you'll know if you want to stay with us or not, and that's the whole point, right? Is we want to build that relationship with you, demonstrate, help you, right? There was a really good short on the Russell here off the point of control. I'll just kind of end with this. This was the trade that we should have taken right here. We should have been shorting this right here today. And I'll just explain why real quickly. This was the best short in the morning. And I'll explain why. Because it was a rejection off the point of control in a trending market. And on the 30-minute time frame, the Russell's been the weakest market. So from a profile trading perspective, that's where the institutions are selling off the auction, right off the breakdown. I personally wouldn't trade it on a retest, no, because I don't trade retested auctions. So I would wait for the next trade. But that's a great question, Ingrid. Yeah. Mark says, tomorrow, first day, month, third month, each Friday month, calling, explaining range, equity options. That's a different question. I don't have enough time to break down that, Mark, but I can in our trade room. We can spend a little bit more time going over the auctions. What's nice is we can break down daily, weekly, or monthly ranges. So if you're interested in looking at big profile auctions, you know, I could go in here, I could split the weeklies, and I can go in here and show you the weekly auctions. So if you're an options trader, like our software is for stocks, futures, and Forex, because we're a really big software vendor, just as well as a school. So depending on what your strategy focus is, like I really think just getting in tune with us first. If you've never been exposed to NeuroStreet and you want to understand what we do, we can help you with a lot of things. Like if you're a futures trader, Forex trader, stock trader, all of our products work across the board. But if you want to trade day trade futures with us tomorrow morning, just there's a link here. You can get started with that. Because tomorrow morning in the morning, I'm going to be trading these markets, and you can trade with me if you want, right? And it's a $3 trial for the class, and then it's a $25 trial for the software for the first week, and then you can decide if you want to move forward with us after that. Okay, so let's see here. Might be interested, Richard, but I primarily trade stocks. We got a lot of stock traders. Our trade rooms are opening. We're actually in the process of opening up Forex and equity trade rooms over the next 3 to 6 months. We'll have multiple trading rooms running across all asset classes. Yeah, hiring instructors in the UK and in the US, and so there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Yeah, looking forward. Exciting times, guys. Exciting times. Ingrid says, what time in the Eastern Standard? 8:30 more. 8:30 Eastern. We start the classroom. We run pre-market pit open, and then we trade equity indices, commodity, gold, metals, and currency futures. For futures. For Forex, when we open up the Forex room down the line, it'll be the majors. We'll trade the majors, and then the stocks. Well, we haven't decided if we're going to cover big boys or we're going to do small caps. We haven't decided what we're going to run on the room yet. But lots of great stuff coming, guys. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the trade the presentation. You know, it's always great, David, to be in here. You bring a good crowd. Appreciate it. And traders, did you guys enjoy the webinar? Give me a yes if you found that informative. You learned something new. You enjoyed it. It's always good to get the feedback. I look forward to trading with you guys. And you know, be safe out there. It's Monday. You know, the markets are moving a little bit pre-market today, but looking forward to trading with you guys this week. It's going to be a great week.